Hey, Mike Callahan here. Had a question submitted Sunday morning, or actually afternoon now. Been stuck in my office basement putting together some routes. But the question was, what do you prefer, commercial or residential landscape maintenance? Well, there's completely polar opposites and different ways of looking at this. So if you're going out to scale a business as fast as possible and sell the business, or just scale the business as fast as possible, commercial landscape maintenance is going to be the easiest. They're large dollar value accounts and they're all in one place. So they're going to be easier to manage. They're going to keep your general and administrative overhead lower, so your office staff, because you may be doing $800 to $1 million worth of commercial landscape maintenance, but that may only be over 20 to 30 accounts. So if you're growing to scale your business as quick as possible, commercial landscape maintenance, in my opinion, is going to be the easiest way to do that. But along with that is some major risks, in my opinion, that you really need to take a look at. First of all is cash flow. Cash flow with commercial landscape maintenance is a major issue. Commercial clients are known and notorious for stretching out from 30, 60, sometimes even 90 days. So if you're going to go into 100% commercial landscape maintenance, you better have the cash flow to support it. Not many commercial clients will put a credit card on file and let you bill that weekly. If you are going into commercial landscape maintenance, one of the places we've had some success with in the past is HOAs or homeowner associations, because their cash flow predominantly is a lot more liquid because they're getting paid monthly by the residents. So if you're not getting paid by an HOA on a regular basis on time, that's probably a contract you don't want to continue, because the management group is probably doing something ill with the cash flow there. So on the flip side of that is the residential landscape maintenance. And residential landscape maintenance, in my opinion, is probably the way to go, but it's going to take a lot longer to grow that residential commercial base. But I would much rather have 600 or 700 residential customers, because I could lose 100 and it doesn't affect my bottom line and my reoccurring revenue stream. Where if I lose 4 or 5 of my major commercial complexes, or one of my crew members or myself aggravate a commercial property manager, I'm putting myself at way more risk. So on residential landscape maintenance, there's several reasons why I prefer it. Your equipment setup usually is a lot less expensive, and you can standardize your fleet. So depending where you are in the US or Canada, a lot of guys and girls are running around with 30-inch walk-behind mowers on the back of a 1500 F-150 pickup with a modified back of the truck. So the equipment needs are not as cost-intensive, and you can standardize your fleet. And then by doing this, you can go in and cherry pick just specific neighborhoods that fit your model. So you're able to scale the business and pick the identical or the perfect business, where if you're doing commercial maintenance, you might not be able to be as selective, especially when you're first starting out. So if you're willing to play the long game, this is something you're going into invest for yourself, I would recommend going after residential landscape maintenance. One of the big things we've seen very successful in the last 4 or 5 years in residential landscape maintenance to tackle cash flow is requiring a credit card on file and doing weekly billing. So everything was done last week would be billed either Monday or Tuesday this following week. So that's going to improve your cash flow. So it's the other thing where I prefer residential landscape maintenance. And I just talked about being able to standardize the workflow. So we're only going after the homes that look the same way, so we can go out and train the crews to be able to do the same exact job pretty much day in and day out, where commercial landscape maintenance could be HOAs, it could be strip malls, it could be industrial commercial properties. There's just not that similarity. And if you're going to go in and go after just specific types of commercial properties, it's probably going to take just as long to scale as a residential model would. Your cost per acquired customer, in my opinion, at least in my experience, has been significantly less on a residential model. You can go out and use things such as Facebook and Google AdWords to cast that digital net, and then go in through more manual targeting to go out through door flyers or do specific online digital marketing through custom audiences. So I would recommend going after the residential landscape maintenance if you're going to scale something that has a reoccurring model. Now, in the past, one of the drawbacks of going after residential landscape maintenance is if you were building to sell this business eventually is there really wasn't a huge market to buy residential landscape firms. But that has changed along with the Canopies and some of the other companies that are coming along in a national focus. Canopy is a company run by Hunt Davis, that has received several $1 million of rounds of venture capital. They're actively going out to buy residential only customers. So if that's one of the drawbacks of going to a residential landscape model, is when you go to cash out, there isn't a market to sell your business. That is changing. Amazon's getting into home services. Who knows what that looks like? Maybe they'll be acquiring large residential companies that are doing 5 to 10 million a year in sales. So there's positive and negatives to both. I like the residential model. There's less risk. Not having all my eggs in one basket. Cash flow is significantly better, and I'm not risking aggravating 1 or 2 property managers and losing all my counts, where I could upset, and obviously I don't want to, but I could upset or lose 100 counts residentially, and that's not a big deal at this point in scale where we're at in our business, because we can go out and it's a math game. If we need more customers, we go out and spend the marketing dollars, and if I spend $20,000 in marketing, I know X amount on average will come back as new customers. So hopefully that answers questions. Drop many comments, questions below. I know this is a hot topic, especially in the spring. So I'm happy to hop back on and answer some questions. But residential versus commercial landscape maintenance, I prefer the residential for several reasons I just listed. So hopefully that helps, and we'll talk to you soon.